Yes, you. Welcome to the You're Not Getting Any Younger podcast, a podcast for people who want to disrupt their lives for a good reason, to make it count. I'm your host, Jen Glantz, and every week I'll drop a new episode with stories from real people just like you, who woke up one morning and decided to make big changes, starting with small things. We'll cover topics like entrepreneurship, love, failure, and self-care. Hey, you're not getting any younger, so let's make this an adventure. Ready? Hey, any youngers, it's me, your host, Jen Glantz, back with another episode of the You're Not Getting Any Younger podcast. I am gearing up to leave New York City for over a month. And if you've listened to the podcast before, you know that I am so superstitious when it comes to travel because I've had so many trips in the last couple of years get just canceled like an hour before, the day before, or I got sick. So once again, I'm not going to tell you where I'm going until I am there, just in case I just blow it and something happens and it just puts out like weird karma. So I'm not going to tell you where I'm going, but I'm going away for a month. I'll be back in New York sometime in December. And because I'm going away for so long, I'm spending a lot of time right now doing all the things you have to do when you leave a tiny apartment for over a month, like cleaning out the fridge and doing all the laundry and just like making sure all these things are taken care of, filming a bunch of videos and doing a bunch of podcasts because I'm not going to be traveling with camera equipment or my microphone. And the other thing I'm doing is trying to sell some of my clothes. I mentioned I'm obsessed with Poshmark. I've sold a lot of clothes on Poshmark in the past couple of months, but I can't really use Poshmark when I'm gone because if something sells, I won't be able to ship it. So today I took a bunch of clothes over to one of those like used clothes places. This one's called Buffalo Exchange, and maybe in your city there's like another one where you can try to sell your clothes. And if you've ever tried to do this before, it's such a humbling experience because I feel like everybody brings stuff where they're like, this is great stuff. It just doesn't fit me anymore. I don't like it anymore, but these places would be crazy not to buy it. And who wouldn't want this? Like, we all hype up our belongings so much. And then you go to this place and you're like, oh, I'm going to make like $100. They're going to buy everything. I'm going to leave empty-handed. And you stand there as they sort through your belongings. And literally out of like 20 things, if you are lucky, if you are so lucky, they will buy one thing for $3. And it feels like you've just won the lottery because it almost never, ever happens. Today I went there with Goofy. I handed them over a bag of clothes, and it's so frustrating because you just like look around the store at what they're selling and what they have, and you look at your stuff and you're like, oh my goodness, like my stuff seems way better than a lot of this stuff here. And you just watch them as they go through your stuff and literally reject everything. And I just wanted to fight back and be like, are you crazy? This is an unworn Zara shirt that's perfect for the winter. People would go crazy over it. I can't fit in it anymore, or else I would gladly keep it. You're really going to pass? You're not going to give me $2 for this? Fine. But I didn't bother fighting with them, and ultimately I sold 3 things. One of them was Adam's J. Crew shirt that had a tag on it because he never wore it. And I made $13, which just felt like amazing. But which is to say, it's worth a try because you never know. A part of me, because I'm so competitive, is like, should I go back tomorrow to a new person with the same clothes I tried to sell today and see if they'll take it? Because I feel like it's so person by person and the mood they're in and what they personally like. Like, how do they know what's going to sell or not? Also, they check for the labels inside. I'm like, what kind of labels are you looking for? Are you looking for Prada and Gucci? Because yes, this is Old Navy and Loft and Abercrombie and Zara, but that's what people buy. That's what you're going to sell here. Okay, anyway, I'm not going to get worked up over this because I feel like today was my most successful day there. I made $13. Usually I walk out of there with $3 in cash, so that was pretty good. We're coming up on holiday season. I know a lot of you are super busy. Some of you are traveling. You have a lot of things going on. So the next couple podcasts I'm going to do are going to be super, super short. I don't want to waste your time with long, lengthy interviews or just rambling podcasts. I want to make them short, but super, super meaningful and digestible, enough so that you press play on them and you feel good about listening to these short podcasts. In the past couple of months, October specifically, I feel like I talked a lot about friendship. I talked about doing a friendship inventory. I talked about being more vulnerable with the friends that I have. And I got a lot of feedback from people who said that they really enjoyed those episodes because it's very rare that we sit down and really think about the people in our lives. I'm going through something right now where I'm really upset with a lot of people in my life, but secretly. And a big reason why I'm upset with them is I feel like they're not showing up for me in ways that I need them to. And every time I go to vent to my mom about this, she's like, you can't be upset about what you expect from other people if they literally have no clue you're expecting this from them. You haven't once said, hey, I wish you would text me more, or hey, I wish that you actually cared about this thing that I told you about. I've never said that to them, but yet I have all of these grand expectations for people, and I'm secretly just upset with 90% of the people in my life right now. And it's just not a good way to be, because then you get sad, then you get resentful, then when they do reach out to you, you're trying to be spiteful and all of these things. So a challenge that I'm going to do this week that I recommend we all do, because why not? We're approaching the end of the year, which is super stressful. We're approaching the holiday season, which is even more stressful. The challenge is this. Write out a list of friends, no more than 10, a list of friends, write out every single person's name. Next to the person's name, write one nice thing about them. What is something about them that you think is awesome, that you look up to, that you think is super unique, that maybe they need to be reminded of? Maybe it's been quite a long time since you've said anything nice to them. Because here's the kicker. Here's the next step. After you have your list of names and the one nice thing about them, you're going to pick up your phone, which you're probably on right now, and you're going to send each one of those people a text message and say, I'm thinking of you, and if I haven't told you lately, I think you are so awesome at blank. Maybe it's at how they put together an outfit, or maybe it's about how they show kindness to others. Whatever it is, you're going to send them a genuine, authentic compliment. Now, if you write down a list of friends and there's somebody who you don't feel like you have anything nice to say, then don't say anything. Then maybe reevaluate that friendship. Look at what's going on. But the ones that you have on that list that you have something nice, send them a message. Sometimes people don't meet our expectations because they don't know what we're expecting from them. Other times, sometimes they feel a certain way about us, and us showing kindness and grace and complimenting them is a great way of rekindling a friendship, letting a person know you're thinking about them, and just checking in with them in a way that perhaps you would want to be checked in from them as well. Until next week, all my love, Jen Glantz. Hey you! Thank you for listening to the You're Not Getting Any Younger podcast. There are hundreds of thousands of pods out there, so thank you for listening to this one. You can find the show notes for this week's episode up on our website, anyyounger.com. Subscribe, rate, and review the You're Not Getting Any Younger podcast on iTunes so that other ears around the world can listen too. Oh, and join our secret You're Not Getting Any Younger Facebook group, where over 1,000 people are talking about how to disrupt their lives, for a good reason, to make it count. Until next week, all my love, Jen Glantz.